Hello again, everyone. This is Mark with All Natural Aquatics. We're here again at Pets Plus in Lawrenceville, New Jersey, where we just got a whole bunch of fish in from Florida. So welcome to episode 9 of What Did We Get Today? Be sure to stay tuned all the way to the end. We're going to announce the winner of the gift card at the end of the video. Be like always when we're doing the receiving videos, it'll be a series of them. As every few boxes I'm going to have to stop and get everybody floating and get ready for the next round. But tried a different background this time. You can see some discus in here behind me. If they're not getting real busy, then we may just throw a few bloodworms in, get them all up and really moving around for you. That tank is about to get a big chunk of driftwood. There will be another video about that, about how you deal with large pieces of driftwood and getting them to stay down and things like that. So that one's coming. But today we've got 16 boxes from Lyle's Tropical Fish in Florida. Always get a lot of great fish from Lyle's. We're always very happy when we get those in. Today is very cichlid heavy, so I hope you're into cichlids. If you're not, yeah, you know, there's going to be a few other things, and there's some really cool stuff in here too. But it is definitely heavy on cichlids. So let's start with the first box. Red zebras. Really great color on those. Look at how orange those are. And cichlids. So some of the imbunas and things are going to be ones that you see fairly often, but there's going to be a few eyeball ones in there as well. Yellow blazes, Z-rocks, Zimbabwe rocks, Otopharynx lithobates. Really a nice fish. Big, beautiful hap. Gets about 9-10 inches. Spectacular color on those. Just a deep, you don't know that fish, you should. Really deep, dark, metallic blue with bright yellow from the snout all the way through the dorsal fin. Just a great looking fish. If you're doing a hap tank or a mixed hap and peacock tank and a bigger tank, or even mixed haps and imbunas, if you've got a really big tank, I would never try that in anything under about a 125, and really wouldn't do it under a 180 myself. They're a good fish to add in there. And then something interesting. Let's see which one this is. You see those? Those are probably, yeah, I think those are, I think they're L411s. These are tank-raised L411s. And these actually came from Patrick Daly at Amazon Exotics, who raises some really cool stuff. He's more or less retired, but he still dabbles a bit. And we did get, I think, 4 things from him today. That's the first one of them. Gonna be a lot of cool ones though coming through. There was a point where Patrick used to raise, and actually Patrick and his wife, 2-person operation, used to raise 400,000 Oscars every year. They were the primary supplier of Oscars to PetSmart. All right, next box. Dwarf red jewels. Nice looking fish. West African riverine fish. A little more aggressive than some of the other ones. It's usually can mix fairly well with Central American cichlids, even though it's come from a different continent. Behavior is similar. A little bit on the smaller side for some of those. So in a tank with things like convicts and fire mouths and some of the acaras and things, it'll work pretty well in there. Or alternative, if you want to do a biotope with West African stuff, that certainly works great. And speaking of acaras, blue acaras, nice size, nice and chunky. Always been one of my favorite fish. Gets about 6 inches. They'll breed in a community tank. Usually not too aggressive. Every once in a while you get one that is, but for the most part not very aggressive, and just a beautiful, beautiful fish. The color patterns on those with that iridescent green lines in the face and the dark blue in the stripes. Great looking fish. These are just regular old convicts, males and females. Looks like it's a good mix of sexes. We haven't had regular convicts for a while, and I've had some people asking for them, so it was time to get some in. There, flip this box around. All right, what have we here? Chidunga Rocks peacocks. And guys, not in color yet, but that means they're reasonably priced, and these get absolutely gorgeous. Again, that's one, if you don't know Chidunga Rocks or Chidunga Peacock, Google that. You will be amazed at the colors on the adults. They are beautiful, beautiful fish. Oh, really nice bag of rainbow sharks. Wow. Should have ordered more of those. And then another one that people have been asking for, we haven't had them lately. Red tail sharks. I ordered a bigger size. These came in as a 3-inch size, but they're really more like 4 inches. Great fishing with cichlids. You know, really a little bit more aggressive than the rainbows, a little bit more territorial than rainbows. And rainbows are, you know, borderline for some of the community tanks anyway. Plus they get 7 inches. The red tails only get about 4 inches. So they're a better fish for a little bit smaller tank in some ways, but in other ways, their aggression means they work better in a bigger tank anyway. But if you put those in with umbunas, for example, they're great fish in there. You're gonna do red tails, unless it's a really big tank, 1 per tank, because they will chase each other out of the tank and just beat each other up. In a bigger tank, you can do a group of them, but you're definitely gonna see a real dominance hierarchy in there. Oh, red devils. Nice big red devils. Should be a couple of them here. And there's the other one. Both looking very nice. Very good condition. These are red fin lethrinops. Not showing a lot of color in the bag, but they'll color up more once they're in the tank. Again, look like you're in great shape. And one more bag in here. Red-tailed black variatus. Always I found those to be one of the more attractive of the variatus types, the variatus platies. Real good hardy beginner's fish. Good for anybody, but great beginner fish. Extremely hardy, they're prolific, they'll have babies about once every 30 or 35 days. You know, so kids especially love that, they eat that up, they love the baby fish. Not that all those of us who've been around for a while don't, but kids especially do. So I'm gonna go ahead and float these guys. So give me a couple of minutes and we'll be back to do the next round. All right, first round's floating. Get the discus up and moving. They haven't been fed yet today. All right, I'll stand over here since they're mostly over there. Keep on going with our next box here. Those are Rohan barbs, or teardrop barbs.
Oh, those?
Boy, they came in really nice.
They're pretty. Those are pretty. Like colored ones?
And Kenya eyes, those came in a little oversized.
Oh, look at that. Lots of 50s. Lots of 50s, right?
Okay. Common plecos.
Yeah, they're pretty. Yep. Because we have fish at home. We like to go to the pet stores and look at the puppies and the cats and the food. They're getting pigs and burgers.
Assorted colors of mystery snails.
What was that? Oh, yeah, mystery snail.
Cobalt zebras. Again, one of the classic gambunas. And trophiops. When's the last time you saw trophiops? It used to be that you couldn't possibly go in a shop and not see a tank of these guys. And I couldn't even tell you the last time I had regular gold trophiops in the store. It's been decades probably. So I was real excited to get those. You know, it's not a fish that is going to excite a lot of people, but it excites me because it's an old one that's back and around again. It's nice to see it for me. Bring these mystery snails out again. You know, really, water's a little tinted, but I think you can see it's a good mix of colors. These guys always have nice sized, really healthy and happy mystery snails. Probably the best ones we get consistently from anywhere. All right, let's drop these two down and get the next two. Oh, just bump the stand, so we got a little bit of shake there. Actually, I'm gonna maybe adjust that just a little bit. There we go. That's a little straighter. Okay, let's see what we got here. Australian rainbows. See, one of these should be Australians and one should be ornates, but they look the same. So we'll see. Both really nice fish. Ornate's still my favorite rainbow fish. Serpe tetras, nice size. A whole lot bigger than the few that we have left from the last time. And there's a lonely neon tetra floating around in there with those guys. And then these are a special order. We had Balanosox come in last time. A friend of mine, Clay, came in and got a bunch of those and ended up with all males. So this is 2 female Balanosox for Clay. And he'll be picking those up today. They won't even go into a tank here. You know, again, just one of those really cool live bearers. If you've never kept that fish, it's a neat one to keep. It is the piscivorous live bearer. If you need a fish to eat culls, if you're breeding a lot of stuff that, you know, is hard to get rid of or things you don't necessarily want in quantity, convict cichlids being a prime example, you know, they're a great fish to have to be able to feed your babies to. Oh, here we go. This is one of the ones I was really excited to get. There's a whole box, there's 4 of these. These are Geophagus argyrostictus. Again, these are bred by Patrick at Amazon Exotics. You saw the stuff I posted on Facebook, last June, from when I was down. I was visiting a number of places, went to Lyle's, went to see Patrick's place as well, and posted pictures from, probably 10 or 12 different farms and a bunch of other spots in Florida. These were one of the ones that you saw in vats down there. Boy, look at those. Just a spectacular, spectacular earth eater. Oh, that's not them. So there's gonna be an earth eater in one of the other boxes. Those are Oscars. Nice tiger Oscars. Yeah, it's a 4 to 5 inches. Probably 5 inches with the tail, 4 inches without. You know, the puppy of the aquarium world. A lot of people kind of get into the hobby and get past those fish, they think, but you know what? You get one again, and again, great garbage can if you've got fish you need to get rid of, and really just an amazing fish to keep. That'll have a lot of personal interaction with you. You can teach them tricks, you can teach them to jump up and ring bells, you can teach them to do all kinds of things. Very, very intelligent fish and a lot of fun, and they'll know you and they'll recognize you as opposed to other people in the house. So it really works out to be a pretty neat fish to have, you know, no matter how many years you may have been in the hobby. All right, so we're gonna get these guys all floating and be back in a minute. Okay, everyone, this is probably gonna be the last round. I did find my box of ghost shrimp and my box of feeder guppies, and I went ahead and tanked those as I was opening the next round here. Or actually, they're just sitting down there waiting to be tanked. They won't get tanked till everything else does. So again, some really, really cool fish coming up here. And then there's a box of plants at the end too. The first one here, this is the first time I've ever had this species. Red dragon rainbows, Melanitania multisquamatus. Really, absolutely spectacular fish. I don't know if any of those are going to make it into the tanks here. A bunch of them were a special order for Johnny Grauman, who's on his way. Actually, he may get here before we finish the video. I know he's driving, but he did have to make a quick stop at Home Depot, so we may get done before he's here. So the question then is whether he takes all of those or he leaves me a few to put in the tanks. But those are absolutely spectacular. And he wanted mostly males, just a couple of females, so and that looks like what they sent. Speaking of males, male rosy barbs. Still have some females left from last shipment, don't have any males left. Figured we'd get all males this time. That's always the most popular ones anyway, because they're the bright red ones. Those can go in an unheated tank. They can go in a heated tank or community tank fish. Not generally aggressive or nippy. You know, don't think of the tiger barb when you think of those. Can they be nippy in certain situations? Yes. If you really are dying, you've got a tank of goldfish, and you're really dying for some other fish that can live with them, that's actually a really good choice. They'll do okay on goldfish food. They'll handle an unheated tank, you know, so really all in all they work quite well with them. And you know, that kind of orangey blacks and colors that you get on the goldfish make a nice contrast to that brighter red on the rosy barbs. I don't ever recommend mixing tropicals and goldfish, but we get that question all the time of what else can people put in there, and that's one of the best choices. Fancy guppies? Not as good a mix as what we had last time, but still nice fish. Those were all males. These are snow white cichlids. The albino sockolopi, we got regular sockolopi in earlier. This is the albino version. One of the more attractive, really stark white, really attractive umbonas. And I don't know if you just heard the announcement, but all the employees are back here looking at all the fish that are floating. And nobody's up at the registers. Everybody's running now. All right. Oh, Msobo deep. Another mbuna you don't see all the time. It's gotten to be much more common over the last 6 or 7 years. Nice pretty yellow fish with kind of some hints of orange in the females, and the males get dark bright blue with black stripes, thick barring. Really a pretty fish. One of these didn't make it. Red-shouldered peacocks. Looks like they might have sent 2 males and a female, and one of the males didn't make it. Well, I'm not sure if that other one's a female or just another male that's not colored up. And you know, that happens sometimes, especially when we're dealing with smaller quantities of them. And who do we have here? We have another pleco. These are L333s. Again, tank raised ones from Patrick. Do you see them or not? I'm trying to get that where it works, but yeah, it looks like they're not going to show very well. And something else with newspaper in the bag. These must be the L270 plecos. Again, also from Patrick. And somewhere in these last few boxes, there should be one more of the Argyro stickers too. And those things are incredible. Also, the ones in the bags more closely as I was floating them in the tank. They are probably 6.5, 7 inches, and absolutely freaking spectacular. If you're in earth eaters, and you know, as far as New World cichlids go, my favorite ones are earth eaters and wild discus. So, you know, if you're into those kind of fish like I am, you love that fish. That's just one of those fish that you gotta have at some point. It's one of those ones that should be on your list if you can't get out of the hobby until you've kept a group of those. Of all the Geophagus types, that's one of the nicest ones. You know, again, if you want to see them colored up, we'll get some video of them in a few days once they're in the tank and settled in and colored up. But in the meantime, you might Google those. Electric blue Texas cichlids. These sold, actually no, these aren't the electric blues. These are green Texas. There should be electric blues coming up here too. We sold out of them very quickly last time, so I ordered more. Oh. Eurekas. Excellent color on those. Really nice Eureka peacocks. This again, a beautiful, beautiful fish. Still have some of the smaller ones we got from the last shipment from these guys. Still have some of the red shoulders and smalls too, where they're not really colored up that much yet. So this time I wanted to get some larger ones so people could see what they're gonna look like. Figuring once you know what they look like, you're gonna want the small ones. Pineapple swordtails. Again, just a beautiful batch of those. Tremendous color on this strain. Yeah, they went flying out of here last time, and people have been asking for them ever since we've been out of stock. Manganos. Really nice Johanni type. Black and electric blue. Just a great looking fish. Really, that horizontal stripe. Most of your mbunas are vertical stripes, so it's nice to have some horizontal ones in there. And that one, the colors on those are just incredible. It's another one that makes a nice contrast if you want to do a mixed tank with just a couple of species, so they're separate and they really don't crossbreed much. Those guys with yellow labs, absolutely gorgeous tank. Just great color combination. Couple of half bags here. Oh, electric blue acaras. Now, we talked about the regular blue acaras a little bit earlier. This is the electric blue bred version of that, where they bred the barring out of the fish. I actually don't like these as well as I like the regular ones. I think the regular ones are more attractive. For whatever reason, I find that the electric blues also tend to be a bit more territorial, a bit more aggressive, so they don't mix as well in with medium-sized community fish as the acaras, as the regular blue acaras do. And we got another half a box of something here. Ah. Fish I try never to order, but I've had a lot of people asking for them. So here they are. It's some bigger Jack Dempsey's. Now, if you understand that fish, that's a nice fish. Most people don't. People buy that and put it in a 29 or 30 gallon tank with some fire mouths and Oscars, and it ends up killing everything else off if you've got a male. They can get 15, 16 inches. I have seen them at that size. It's not unusual for them to hit over a foot. Much more territorial, much more aggressive than a lot of the fish that people tend to keep them in with. They tend to be one of the relatively inexpensive and relatively available ones. So people like to keep them with those other ones that are cheap and fit that group. So your convicts, your fire mouths, things like that. And they're really not compatible with those. And again, incredible numbers of people want to put them with Oscars. They're a horrible tank mate for Oscars. They're much more territorial, much more aggressive. They should really never be together. They will more often than not wind up dominating or killing the Oscar over time, especially if it's a male. If you get a female, you're lucky. Females are not as colorful. The males get absolutely spectacular. Lots of metallic blue, beautiful, beautiful fish, but just more aggressive and larger than most people realize they're going to be. All right. Oh, there's the electric blues, the electric blue Texas. Really nice, nice captive bred strain of Texas cichlids. So we sold out of these very quickly last time. People have been asking for them, so we got more in again this time. And they're right next to a bag of neons. Good thing they were in the dark. This would have had a stressful trip, being afraid they were about to get eaten. So we'll get them floating very quickly so they don't have to deal with that fear. Synspilum. One of the most beautiful of the Central American cichlids when they get some size and get their color. Big red heads, sometimes called a red head cichlid. Absolutely spectacular fish. Gets about 10, 12 inches long. Not overly territorial or overly aggressive. You can keep them in with a lot of other similarly sized things that aren't terribly aggressive. A lot of community tank type stuff. Bigger barbs, bigger cyprinids, rope fish, some of the oddball West African stuff. A lot of catfish work really well with them. They're just really a really nice fish. I know, Rusty Wessel has some that he's brought back and then bred. He keeps them in with live bearers and stuff that he's collected sympathetically with them. So, again, big swordtails, mollies, things like that can go with them. There's the last one of the Argyrostichtus. Again, just a spectacular fish. Can't really see the colors on it well here. Looking through multiple bags and tinted water from the medications they put in there. Our last box is plants. Oh, and I didn't open this one. You know what? I'm gonna lay these out on the counter. It'd be easier to show them to you that way because they're probably all wrapped and everything anyway. So after I put the fish out, I'll get the plants unwrapped and then shoot a video of those. So we'll be back with that in a couple of minutes. Well, I didn't get very far as tanking that last batch of fish goes before Johnny walked in. So if you want to see his tanks, again, Rainbow Fish Live on the Facebook group. He's got multiple posts showing videos of his tanks. I like to take credit for everything that looks good in there because a lot of it came from me.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, he hasn't seen these yet, so we're going to let him get first look at them here and see his reaction.
Oh, I love them. Look at, you can see the reds already coming out in the colors. The fins, they got the nice long fins.
Yep.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, I was very impressed with those.
All right. I like them a lot. I like them a lot. Thank you.
Again, it's up to Johnny whether we have any to put in tanks to sell or if he's taking that whole bag. My guess is he's taking the whole bag.
I might take the whole bag.
Yeah, but we'll see. So anyway, back to getting everything taken care of and floated and getting his fish for him, and then we'll do the plants. Okay guys, first round of plants. This is Egeria Nagus. It's the fine leaf Anacris. The pinnate hydro, Grapho pinnata, wisteria, Hygrophila deformis. This is always grown out of water when they're doing it in Florida, so that's why it's got this leaf form. They're going to drop most of these leaves. The new leaves will be the pinnate leaves. Pink rotala, and it's either rotundifolia or indica. It's probably rotundifolia. Green kabamba. Yeah, red Ludwigia. Not a lot of red on there, but grow it underwater, it'll all be red. Amania gracilis. These are all bunch plants in this first round here. Green temple plants, which is another Hygrophila species. And scarlet temples, which are an alternanthera. And we'll be on to the next ones here shortly. Round 2 on plants. Narrowleaf Java ferns. Green wentais, red wentais. Those are both clumps, so you know that's little group plantings. And then crypt undulata, crypt beckidae, always one of my favorites of the crypts. In sword plants, we got some marble queens, red flames. Broadleaf pygmy chains. We'll look at those. They're probably quadricostatus. That's what they look like. They most likely are. Some nice size Anubias coffeefolia. Some Anubias petites. Giant corkscrew val. Regular corkscrew val. And then we got some bog plants, some terrarium stuff too. So we'll do those in a second. All right, just a few bog plants, terrarium type plants. These are things I'm going to redo that fancy goldfish tank here. That has the, similar to the tank I have set up at Lucy's school. And some of these are for there as well. This is Joseph's coat. Tricolor hedge, goes by a number of different names. It's another alternanthera species. And some Brazilian swords, also known as peace lilies. You can see the flowers on those. Assorted colors of arrowheads. And parrot's feather. Not really a great aquarium plant because it's basically a stem underwater, but then you get those real frilly leaves above the surface, so it's a great pond plant, but also going to be really a good and effective plant to use in tanks like these because you'll be able to see all the above water growth. And that's it. This was a small plant shipment, and actually a few things did not come in. So this is where we are. Shoot just some quick videos of a couple of things in the tanks, and we'll add that on. And then at the end, we'll announce the winner of the gift certificate. These guys are pretty active even before I lift my arms up there with the camera. And now they're going crazy. These are Rohan's barbs or teardrop barbs. One of the really nice mid-sized barbs in the hobby. Keep them with medium-sized cichlids, keep them with all sorts of things. And I wouldn't keep them in a tank with neons, things like that. And ideally, 55 to 75 gallon tank minimum. Bigger is even better. Obviously, they school well. You want to keep them in a group. As far as my experience with them has always been that they're very peaceful. Don't bother anybody. Just a great looking fish. A really nice batch of electric blue acaras. And those of you who've seen my talk, I hate the cichlids I hate, will know it's really hard for me to say anything nice about these. This really is a fish I hate. But these are in great shape. They've got great color. I did try to put them in with some tenanti, and that is obviously not working. They're all hiding over here, so I'm going to either move them or move the tenanti here in a few minutes. Get them separated out so we'll get much better behavior on them by tomorrow. But incredible color on these. These are as nice as any I've ever seen. All right, the Glossolepis multisquamatus. Turned out there was only one female in that bag. Had 6 males, 1 female. So Johnny took 5. He took 4 of the males and the 1 female, leaving 2 of the males in here for us. And of course, probably the 2 showing the least color in the bag. I do expect they're going to color up a lot more in here over the next few days. You can already see the red eyes in them. A lot of red on the body. You can see the fins. Gotta love that anal fin on those males. It's just gonna be a really, really cool fish. So, if you've got a tank where you're just keeping rainbows for show, you might very well want these. They're in the tank now with the catlocarpios, the giant barbs, which are all still here. Haven't found anybody with a tank yet for those that's interested in them. Alright. This tank doesn't have real good lighting on it. Might be a little hard to see the colors on these, but these are the electric blue Texas cichlids. Again, just a beautiful fish. Just a really nice batch. If anything, this actually might be a nicer batch than the last one. Great color, nice size. Ordered some red devils this same size to go in with the one red devil I had left from last time. The red devils didn't come in, so these guys ended up needing to share his tank. And he's not making them feel too at home yet. But I'm sure with their numbers, it's going to change over the next day or two. Hey everyone, it's Mark, and I'm home, and I didn't get a chance to shoot the part about who won the contest at the store, so I'm adding that from home. That means if you hear the dogs, please excuse that. So they're kind of running around being a little bit crazy right now, although they seem like they're calming down a little. So anyway, one of the issues that I did not think about with the contest for the gift card was that we're not shipping at the present time. And of course, the person who won that lives in Columbus, Ohio. So that's a bit of a problem. It's Tony Bream. Tony's actually an old friend of mine. I was as surprised as anybody when I hit on Tony when I spun through the list of subscribers. So anyway, Tony, I will take care of you once we start shipping, which hopefully will be in the next couple of months. You'll get a $50 gift card at that point. But for now, we needed to have a local winner so that you can come into the store and pick out what you'd like. And that turns out to be Wolfie 101. So congratulations to both Tony and to Wolfie. Wolfie 101, if you would send me a message here on YouTube, that would be great. I'm off tomorrow in the store. I won't be there at all, but I will be there all day Sunday. If you can come in then, we can get you all hooked up. And I hope to see you then. Thanks everybody for watching. Please make sure you're hitting the like buttons and subscribe to All Natural Aquatics if you haven't already done so. And feel free to share this anywhere you'd like. Thank you. Bye-bye.